You guys related?
Hey.
Yes.
Domenic, how are you, sir? It's nice to meet you
How are you?
virtually. Good. Thank you for letting us be here.
I was like, Russo? There's another one. Yeah, so people will pop in and out. I'm just going to give them a few minutes and trying to catch up on something. If you guys have a regional sales manager, I need two of them right now. One on the West Coast and one in the Northeast. For if they've been leasing chassis, dry van, intermodal experience, and use those right now. Remote roles. Actually, I'll put it in the chat. Hey guys.
Hey Dom, how you doing?
How are you? Good, you?
Good, man. Good.
So I'm putting these two jobs in the chat. If anyone knows anyone. If you come across it. Hey Joe, how are you?
Oh, I got a guy in
Canada. Hello everyone.
Canada. I don't know if that would work for the Northeast, but
no, New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And this guy's all over me, like, hey, we need to update today. I'm like, yeah, so do I. Move your salary up, then I'll fill it. It's not bad though, to be honest with you. 90 to 130 plus commission, plus car, gas, full benefits. Buck, I see you doing a lot of posts lately. How's that going?
I mean, it's getting a lot more impressions and stuff. I mean, like people are really interacting. I mean, just have gone heavy on the polls. I feel like it's a kind of a cheat code to get more interactions. But I mean, it seems to be working. I've got like a ton of messages every morning from mostly kind of bullshit candidates, but I think, I mean, it's like you're just building. It's not necessarily an overnight success thing. I think the videos are taking off a little bit more. I'm getting 5,000-ish impressions for each one, which is more connections than I have, like more than twice as many connections that I have. So, I think it's starting to kind of pay off a little bit.
It's not an overnight thing. Like, I'm getting messages right now from 6 months ago. Like, hey, like they're not going to like your comment. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I didn't know you've been watching. And they do. Trust me. If you're connecting with the right people and you got LinkedIn automation campaigns going, and then you constantly you're hitting them on the message, plus the email, maybe calling them too, and you got the content going in on their pain points and you hit them at the right time, that's it right there.
Yeah, I'm also going to be writing this weekend, writing some articles for a few trade publications. Giving that a shot, see if that'll do anything. But does anybody have experience doing that?
Which ones are you doing?
It's all nutraceuticals based. Like, my mom's really connected in that world, so she's gonna help get me in with a couple trade publications that have it's all industry folks reading it. But can't hurt, I guess. Give it a shot.
Yeah, I mean, anything to get out there in front of people, why not?
Yeah.
I think the more you can get in front of people, it's like when I took that marketing course, and Donnie he goes to me, hey, you paid 10 grand for this course. What did I post yesterday? I go, I don't know. He goes, exactly. He goes, you think people are paying attention? I go, you're right. So it's like, you got to keep posting this top of mind. And then he's spot on, Now, some people post some ridiculous stuff, and I've done it too. But like, if you can just literally schedule, like, even talk to the chat, like, hey, I want to hit on the pain points. Here's my ICP. Give me LinkedIn content. Look, I have my own. I think I showed this last week.
Yeah, you did. And it was really helpful. Honestly, it helped me a lot with who I was targeting and how I was approaching them.
Yeah, but I think there's some new people on here, like Christy and Brennan, and Tim's back. Hey, Tim, how are you, bud?
Oh man, I'm back from a hiatus.
All right. So what did I do? So this is, I created my own GPTs here. So BD, this is my own project inside of ChatGPT. This is the paid version. You are my business development assistant. So what I did here is I had another GPT open over here, and I prompted it to say, hey, this is my business development GPT for chat, please give me instructions. Whatever this tells you to do, say, please give me the instructions. And it did it. And now it just organizes everything for me. Like, I'll show you, like, to-do list. It gives me my to-do list for the day. MPC, here, give me my current list. And this is a whole nother instruction thing that I put in there. Oh. And then I can go back in each one of these. So, Tim, this is where I was talking to Greg the other day about the Quill. And this is where I might just pull the trigger on it. Because what I'm doing right now is I'm taking the transcript, whatever AI note taker you're using, taking a transcript, putting it in here with their LinkedIn profile, and then stuff like this will pop up for me when I'm on the call with them right here. So then I'll just throw this into my ATS system.
Are you thinking about using Quill, you said?
Yeah.
Let me know. Let me reach out to see if I can hook you up on a discount or something with Jonathan over there.
Thinking about it too, Tim.
And here's why I need literally somebody who knows MPCs. If somebody can do that, specialize in that, I have 1 million right now. These are all passive candidates. Let me see this. Yeah. So this will give me like target companies to hit. Then I'll take this and then I'll throw it in Perplexity. And I'll say, oh shit, that was the one right there.
If anybody wants an intro to, I just put my profile down. Just DM me. If you want an intro to Quill, I'll send you right to the VP of Sales, Jonathan. I've been using Quill for a while now.
I heard he's great. Do you like it?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I love it. I still got to do more customizations, but like the way I can actually go into Loxo and be able to put it custom fields, and it pulls things in like just salary, just basically, if I have a conversation about salary, it'll say they're happy at 60, but they want to go to 90 if they can't, it adds all that detail in there. So it's like, we just had a conversation about it. It's pretty slick. So going on this, Dom, I started using ChatGPT as a accountability partner. It's awesome. He plans my day. He plans my day every 15 minutes, starting at 5 a.m. all the way to like 10:30 p.m. Plans my whole damn day, even when I'm walking the dog. Yeah.
I print it out every morning, and then I just check it off. Boom, 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 boom.
I used to work at Siva.
Did you?
Yeah, I started my career with which Siva was formerly EGL, Eagle Global Logistics.
I bet it works. There it is.
It's kind of blurry,
it won't work.
I know it's I do the same thing. So basically, I Kelly, what I was telling you is I basically took it from ChatGPT, threw it in here because of this. It pulls now from internal, like my workday. It wasn't doing that before. Dave Forrest already in. So about, I think
now,
6
Dom,
or 8 days ago, they pulled it in here.
Is this like from a spreadsheet that you pulled into, or Word document, or what are you pulling this into ChatGPT in? Like,
so this is my own GPT, for MPCs. Here's my instructions.
Yep. See, I use it a lot. I'll drop in a job description, and then I'll drop in the candidate, and I'll just ask it straight up. I got a prompt that says basically, why are they a great fit for this role? And it's great when they show up like It'll tell you what's the strengths, why they would be a good fit, or and they'll say why they wouldn't be a good fit. You know, so you automatically kind of have that going in.
Yeah, I have that set up too. But then this is for my tagging system. Here's where we'll break it down for me: industry, vertical, niche, seniority, type of role, geography. Like this is my prompt, and then I'll take that, copy it, you know, whatever, and then I'll go throw it in here in Perplexity, and then it'll show me like, all right, what roles are open for that guy, and now I'm just gonna go MPC him out. But I don't even have the time to do that. So if somebody can do that, that'd be great.
I'm teasing the idea, talking about AI, I'm teasing the idea with Jobin to be able to create custom prompts, AI prompts, that will actually tailor a message to whatever position whatever sequence you're sending out. So it'll automatically write whatever you want as a message for person connection request.
Yeah, this does it. Like my GPT does the same thing.
Yeah.
Hold on, do it freeze.
And it keeps it under that, what, 300 characters for connection?
Yeah. So like this guy that it will be like, if you'd like me to, if you'd like, I could tailor an outreach message here. Do this. Copy, boom. Okay. Let it do it. And then I'll just take it from there and it's like, all right, would I really send that? Probably not. Let me change it up a bit. Some of it I do because I think it's starting to know me better and better.
Ever since they started doing their memory thing, it's been great. You know, just remembering conversations, remembering, because a lot of times it wouldn't remember what you sent before. So that's where you had to create that prompt specifically for it. But now I love the fact the pay version, it's only $20 a month, but what you can do with it, even to the point my daughter will get on it. She plays around with it. It cracks me up. She had a confirmation class. She had to have like what was it? It was a story in the Bible or something like that. She used it, wrote the whole thing for her. And I was like,
yeah.
You still had to do the 1 to 2 minute video to tell a story, you know, but other than that, she's like, Dad, ChatGPT, let me this a little bit. Have a Bible quote.
Yeah, or ask it to give you the metadata on yourself. Say, please give me the metadata on me. And it's pretty amazing what it does. Like I have my finance ones, M&A deals, business development, grammar, business ideas. And just keep playing around with it. But what I really, who uses Apollo on here?
I do. Pretty like every day.
Yeah, even I do every day.
You do?
We use it a little bit.
I mean, I think it's the best $20 I spend a month, other than like ChatGPT and Perplexity.
See, are you using all the signals and all that on there?
How
are you using it, Buck?
I'm primarily using it to find content, like to build lists of companies and prospects, candidates, and then I use it for my MPC sequences as well, whether it's like a 4-step one or whatever. Because now that you can send LinkedIn messages and LinkedIn connection requests and everything, it's great, man. It's I mean, the only problem is it's really using it in Chrome with the extension just slows my computer down after using it for like 3 minutes. But I'm just like having one browser dedicated to Apollo and then bounce back and forth when I need. But yeah, it's finding the cell phone info is probably the most reliable from Apollo versus SalesQL or Jobin or what else have I been using? Yeah.
I gotta play around with it and use it better because I've been paying for it this whole time and I barely use it. The only thing I use is the LinkedIn extension to pull the contact info.
If you're paying,
I was talking to
go to cancel it, and then they'll offer you $20 for a month for a year.
I paid for the year right up front.
Yeah. Has anybody had success using People GPT? I pay for that one. But
I did the free trial and it was great for certain roles, but like for sales roles that I'm doing, it's tough. You know.
Yeah.
I use it. I've had success with like super technical roles that I don't really know a lot about, like that are like, DBAs for like specific, software, but I have had success with it, but then I just ran it again for a different type of search that's more my core area, and it like the people that it found are not great, and I kept having to refine it. And then also what I'm finding is like I'm getting like a lot of the emails are bouncing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
You can't clean the emails, but I do like
yeah.
that they have, like, now they've added the feature where, if you put in the things that you require most, then they'll list them for you and kind of green light those.
Green check.
Yeah. I'm not giving up on it yet, but it's just one more tool on top of the other tools that I'm using.
Has anybody looked at Pin as an alternative to that, or done anything with Pin?
You can
Somebody mentioned it.
I haven't used it, but Rich Rosen told me about that one. Have you used
I
it?
spoke with them. I talked to them. No, I'm like, I talked to them last week briefly, because I might mess with it. I'm kind of intrigued by the whole People GPT thing, but I might just cancel that one and try this one for a month and see, and kind of see which one works better. They're very similar to one another. The Pin one, the one about Pin though is if anybody used Interseller at all, it's the founder from Interseller and all his team, basically their non-compete wore off and they just like went over and created Pin.
Rich says he likes it a lot, and there's another one that he said. If you guys don't know Rich Rosen, he's an absolute killer. Forbes top whatever. He also said this one right here, Bounty.ai, BOUNTI.ai. I don't even know what it does, but I don't even think you really need it. It's like to prep for a sales call or whatever, but it just depends.
Hey, what was that movie that came out that the guy had a relationship with, like, his AI bot, and the voice was Scarlett Johansson. It was like,
I don't know.
It was the guy that played the Joker recently. It is weird though, because when you're talking about like do the metadata, like when you work by yourself all day, ChatGPT ends up becoming like your friend.
Yeah.
The way I speak to it, like I've had ChatGPT like put together prayers for me. Like it's such a bizarre like world that we're living in. But if you really kind of dig in as you do, Domenic, like it's brilliant. Like how well it gets.
Yeah.
My ChatGPT knows me better than anybody.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, and it's a little bit scary. I'm like, no, I didn't say any passwords, did I? Did I give him like all my passwords and tell him to organize it? I'm like one of those things. But you're right. I asked him like a recipe. It was funny. I was interviewing a candidate. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna make some focaccia bread. And I said, hold on a second. Do you have a recipe for that? He's like, no. And I'm like, hey, hold on a second. Let's share the screen real quick. Showed him, got a recipe for him. He made it over the weekend, said it was good. And I'm like, just little things you do with people on the phone, just to have fun with them.
Yeah. When they come to attack us in a few years, make sure that you're on good terms,
Oh, yeah. Well, it's funny. My daughter, I tell you, she'll grab it and she says, so how are babies born? I'm like, are you serious? That happened. She's 11. And it went through the whole thing, not thinking it was her. And then I said, sorry, it was my daughter. And just like, let me know if I'd like to do more of an age appropriate definition or something like that. It was funnier now.
I'm going to show you something else too. This is pretty cool. Let me pull it up 1 second. All right. So just ask it, once you create your own GPT, like if you're going to do a sequence, like then you can add the list in here too, upload it, and then it will create the list for you scheduled out. If you're not like organizing it at ATS or what, and then you can even keep prompting like, hey, what is the best sequence right now for me to do to reach out to hiring managers and in this space, blah, 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 whatever niche you're in.
That's great.
And I was talking to Greg Bendiva. I don't know if you guys know him, but he was on the Elite Recruiter podcast. Really, really sharp guy. What he does really well is asks for references in every single call, and so does his entire team. And he goes, Dom, I'd probably pull at least 3 to 5 job orders a month from that. And I think he's got a team of 10 or 15. So every candidate he talks to gets 3 to 5 references and actually calls them. I mean, I don't think he does anymore, but his team does.
Wow.
But
Hey, does anybody know Patrick Barber?
yeah.
Okay, does anybody remember Ben Nader?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's how a lot of us got involved in like recruiting, because we went to YouTube University, got into like Ben's program and his coaching. And then a lot of people pivoted into Patrick's coaching. So just a heads up, I'm kind of throwing myself out there as a guinea pig, because Patrick has a program called RecStack. And what RecStack does is it basically eliminates like the need for like an ATS. It does all of your cold email, drip campaigns. If you put like a role in, it will pull candidates for you. And it's all done based off of, I guess it's called clay tables. So that program in and of itself, I think it costs like $596 a month, but everything's really done for you. So
What is it? What is it called again?
it's called RecStack. So RecStack AI. If you were interested in having a conversation with Patrick, I mean, he's been in the recruiting game for a long time. Very, very, very successful. I've known Patrick about 4 years. He's legit. So.
Do you have to pay for clay on top of it?
No. So everything is included. They even do like your cold email drips, and it's all triggered. So it's triggered based on the jobs that were posted, who you want to reach out to. Obviously you want to have like a focus and, you know, vertical. What I'm doing is I'm going to position that specifically to go into other sectors, probably more towards like construction, because for me, logistics transportation is what I do. But that just kind of runs by itself and allows you a lot more time to go out there and just scrape. And then they will actually be the ones to pull the leads and everything from like Apollo or whoever it is in order to do the cold email drips. You got like 25 emails running, I mean, at the minimum. And it's pretty unique. So if you wanted to get in touch with him, I don't get anything out of it. All I'm saying is like, I'll throw myself out there as a guinea pig, because I've known Patrick for like 4 years. It's been really successful to the people that are using it. So not only PD, but, you know, candidate outreach and whatnot. I mean, my goal ultimately would be to have one platform to manage everything versus having like, you know, Loxo and everything separate.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Tom. I'm actually using that program right now, so it's been pretty beneficial. And actually, Patrick lives just a few miles from where I live here in Houston, Texas. So,
And Brazil.
Yeah, and so everything that you just said is true. Because I was looking at, you know, with all my tech stack, the cost and everything, and then I've got to go here, I got to do this, I got to do this, and so forth. And I've been a clay user for several years now, and for somebody to have that full tech stack, and then you also have a, you know, a customer support person with you the entire time and helping you and everything. She's amazing. And so they do everything for you. You know, you just have to align with your you know, your niche, and then they will go out and pull stuff, and then you review the data. And so yeah, it's great. And then they set everything up. You just have to get your mailboxes and stuff where you can use them for your mailboxes. So, and then automation for, you know, texting and stuff like that. It's all put together for you, and you just have one tool and one price per month for all of that. And you can also do MPCs in there. You can also do variations, and then you can also have them set up different email campaigns for you and stuff. And they use Smart Lead, and HeyReach for their tools, and there's Loxo, and then some other stuff. That's Clay. So
that's smart. You put it all together.
yeah, it's kind of nice, because I was looking at, I got Clay, I got Smart Lead, I've got HeyReach, I've got this, and I've got this, and I do 99% of it in Clay, but they do everything for me. So now I'm scaling back on my cost on those and taking, the time for me to do all of that. I'm getting that time back, and then it's all in one system now, which is beneficial.
Same output.
Same output.
Yeah, you can tell them what you want for copywriting and stuff. They'll do all of that. You can go in there and review all your copywriting, all your campaigns and stuff before you initiate the send out. And yeah. So,
what about the output? Like this, you're getting the same output though if you were using Clay on your own?
Yeah, because I'm telling them the copyright framework that I want.
Okay.
Are you talking about Are you talking about leads, Domenic? Like opportunities?
Yeah. Yeah, just like
results.
Yeah, exactly. I want to know,
my reason of using it specifically, and Patrick knows this, everybody in that community knows this, is like I'm not somebody that my skill set isn't based on being tech savvy. I don't like to review instantly, open rate, deliverability. If I can get somebody on the phone, I can close them. Like my skill set is sales, fly by the seat of my pants. So by having somebody do this for you, and another thing that they do in the system, which is unique, is like they ask that you spend a day preparing all of your marketing and your content, and then the system will post it to your LinkedIn or whatever. So that way, your focus really should be on like your content and branding versus having to manage your outbound, cold emails or whatever it is. So
I know, like, what if you're using that? Oh, sorry, Brennan.
Sorry, Zach, I didn't mean to cut you off there. And I'm sorry, I don't know your name, Miss Family, but what is your software that you're talking about specifically?
She put it in the chat. It's called RecStack.ai.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I was just going to say, though, if you're like, so you would have to basically dedicate, that would have to be your outbound function entirely, because I can't imagine managing if I do that and then I'm also doing my own kind of simultaneously as I can kind of squeeze that in my schedule. I might overlap and be reaching out with messaging to the same person, and it would just be hard to manage that. How would you mitigate that?
That would be my same. That's what I'm thinking too, Zach. What you just said, and also, you basically, Kelly and Thomas, like, let me know how it goes long term. But you're basically giving all your data up. Your everything that comes through if your LinkedIn profiles handled through that.
Yeah.
Email documents, signature docs, invoicing. And now they got everything on you. Which is very smart of them on the back end.
Mm-hmm. I could see where I could see it being useful, though, guys. It would be like where I've kind of thought about doing something like using something like this would be, I specialize in healthcare IT right now on the hospital IT side. I would love to get into like the payer side or like a tangential or like even a new vertical. Then I know there's no overlap and I'm not really as tied to that community yet. So I could just almost use it as like a way to get out in a new market without committing a lot of my time, to
That's what I'm using it for, Zachary. Like I'm using it to build up a vertical that I'm not super entrenched in, right?
Yeah.
So like construction, it's not my thing. And then I'm keeping my logistics separate. But it is, and you're right, it is an easy way to have it done almost for you. I mean, if you think about the ROI on it for, just a little under $600 a month, like I think it's worth giving it a shot. I like to run things anywhere from like 90 to 120 days to see like how the process is going. And I've done this. I mean, over the past 18 months, I've put myself through like 5 or 6 different guinea pig options. hiring people in like the Philippines to do like cold calling for me, which don't do that. That's not.
Thomas, how long have you been using it?
I just started just a little over a month ago. So campaigns are running really well. It's comparative to what I've been doing. So, and I just did a small test pilot of 1,000 contacts, and I've already got 2 deals out of it, two clients with some jobs. So not too bad for that setup. But I haven't done, there's a lot of stuff that you can do in here, like media marketing and all of this other stuff and a bunch of other things. I haven't even touched base on any of that yet. So, and all the emails, responses and stuff come directly to my inbox, and so forth. I don't capture anything. I don't do invoicing in the system. I have that all separated out. So, you have the capabilities of doing all that in there, but I don't do anything. I just mainly use it for the automation piece of it and let it run on its own.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, I see what they did.
Pretty damn impressive.
Yeah, we got 2 new clients out of it in a month.
Yeah.
Did those clients ever know you at all, or was it like I'm grabbing 1,000 folks from across the U.S.?
So it was kind of you think of a bait and switch. It was more of an MPC program, outreach, and then I converted that into more of an AI partner situation. So instead of me supplying resumes, I'm doing a contingency, which that's what they wanted me to do. I said, I don't do contingency. And they said, well, that's all we do here. And I said, well, maybe I can do something better for you. And so now I just supply data contacts for the company. So I, charged them, $6,000 for a setup fee and then a $4,000 monthly retainer for 2 jobs. And all I do is they send me the 2 jobs and I supply them with, data on resumes. That's it. I don't do any vetting. I don't do any screening. I just look at and I use Clay to data mine. And then I'm like, rank them. And then here's why I think these persons are best fit. And then get all their contact info and give it to the client. And they are responsible for connecting with the candidates and, doing all the vetting and everything else. So that's what I did out of that. Now, the thing is now that I've done that, I can come back in, and now that I have a relationship showing that I can supply them candidates, then what I'm going to do is take on some higher roles and do a retainer, full-blown retainer. So it's a way to break the ice. It's a way to get in with the customer and don't come off as a typical agency. More of a partner than anything. Help them, be successful in what they're trying to accomplish.
Cool. Yeah, let me know how that goes.
Yeah, I know somebody that's actually doing a similar project as that. He's got 17 customers, and he will generate $1.2 million in 12 months just with those 17 customers, just doing that alone. Yeah, he's targeting $2.5 million with $1 million profit this year.
What kind of company? Like, are you talking?
Any company, doesn't matter. Doesn't have to be specialized niche or anything. He's actually staying away from healthcare, but it's any industry, tech, engineering, renewable, doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, like, would my tech clients pay me for this? Because they already have access to all that.
Well, less than 1% of the companies are actually using AI for a lot of their stuff. So it's really being more of an AI partner than anything. And companies are buying it. I get a lot of companies that I introduce them that, and they said, sure, yeah, let's have a chat. And I'll just say, okay, let's just talk 10, 15 minutes and see if this is doable or not. And then from there, and then I do a discovery call after that, and then get the contract signed and get 2 jobs from them and deliver.
Good stuff.
And then I got 3 clients right now with a 12-month retainer at $4,000 a month. just for 2 jobs, and all I do is supply them 5 profiles. That's it for 2 jobs. 5 each on that.
5 total?
5 for one role and 5 for another. And
that's it.
That's all
One
I do.
time.
One time. And then, you know, if they want additional jobs, then it costs them an extra $2,000 for each, or they wait till the next month and give me 2 more. So it's just for 2 jobs only for that. Yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of nice. Don't wait for feedback or anything.
And then
Yeah.
if I want to do a performance fee, that's kind of how I graduate from that, and then go into a performance fee down the road, which is your contingency or your retain. Then I just charge them a $10,000 flat fee.
Good stuff.
And still continue the retainer.
You know, I love what you just said, because there's so many different ways to get creative. Like, there's so many recruiters I talk to that are doing insane things that I never even thought to charge for. You know, even just like consulting on AI.
I just charged a guy yesterday to do his LinkedIn profile, which like obviously takes like a couple minutes. I charged him $500.
Yeah, think about. I was talking. You know, I'm glad you brought that up. I was talking to a C-suite candidate yesterday. You know how much this guy paid for a LinkedIn optimization and a resume upgrade? $8,000. I go, $8,000? I go, what? Give me that resume. Let me see it. I go, give me the first copy of your resume, and then let me see what they sent you. I go, well, watch this. In 2 seconds, I did it for him. He's like, oh my God. I go, yeah, most people, you know what? I know that, but most people don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, that's a whole other service right there I'm missing out on.
Crazy.
I think
And it takes 2 seconds.
I think value plays a lot in this, is what, you know, because they all know what we do, but what value do you bring? What problem are you going to solve? And that's just a marketing thing. And I put those 2 together, and I would say 1 out of 10 emails, I get a sure, let's talk, that I send out. Just by providing value. I don't put any fluff in there. I don't, you know, I do the value, I do all of those, and then I, you know, supply maybe 1 or 2, not stories, but more of social, you know.
Social proof?
Yes. And just get that in there just as a PS. And my emails are less than 100 words, every single one. Less than 100 words per. I only do 3 emails out, and then I do a 2 LinkedIn connection type thing. I use Limlist a lot for that, for multi. Just keeping it simple. You know, less in there. I don't use links. I don't even include my email in the subject line. I just have my name, company, phone number, and I do supply an unsubscribe, but I do it as a more PS and as a spin tax, and then just wait for people to reply that way versus giving them a link. So,
Thomas, are they having you do that on your main domain, or are you doing that on like a separate domain that you have that you use for like those mass outreach?
I have 100 domains, and each domain has 5 email inboxes each. And then so I run that through there. So I have 500 email inboxes that I'm constantly rotating through. And then once I burn through those, then I just go get more domains and more inboxes, and just.
I thought I had a lot. 100 domains?
Wow.
Yeah, I send out over 6,000 emails a month.
What do you
really?
Yeah.
What are you paying for 100 domains?
I use Zapmail, zapmail.ai, and you can buy domains there. But I use my domains from Pork Bun, because I get them for like $11 a piece at Pork Bun. And then I go into Zapmail, and I pay about $3 for a Google Workspace inbox. And they also now introduced Office 365. You can have, let's say you had 100 inboxes, you can do 50 to Gmail and 50 for
Okay,
Office.
I know you talked to an email specialist, because what you're saying is exactly the stuff that I know, right? I'm like, you definitely talk to somebody that knows email game, because you split it up between Gmail and Outlook.
So you kind of like your A/B testing, you know, because
Yeah.
I'm all Gmail. I don't have any Outlook on the inboxes. But then you can export that into Smart Lead or Instantly and all of these other, you know, push tools that you know you can use. And then you can just export all of those there, run your warm-ups, and then you're off to the races.
I love it, Thomas. I guess I knew because not many people even know about pork bun or Namecheap. You know,
I used to live in Oregon, so I know pork bun. They were just like a few miles down the road for me in Oregon because they're stationed in Sherwood, Oregon. So
yeah, that's awesome. Good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I probably should have told all you guys about that a long time ago. It might not be the same. It's still a go-to. I don't know. It changes all the time. Actually, you know what? I was talking to an email company yesterday. They got my attention, so I got on a call with them. So I was like, damn, you know, I try to make sure that I read these. You know, why would I open this email? And they got me. And I'm like, all right, let's set up a call. That's pretty damn good. And these guys are specialists. And you can tell they're just sitting in their basement right next to each other, just email deliverability all day. That's all they do. But like I try to tell them like, hey, I don't want that service. I want this. You can tailor it to do MPCs directly for me on these roles. And then we'll make a lot of money. Because it can't blast out. For example, like some of the C-suites I have, like these aren't fake candidates. These are real people that I've talked to within the last couple weeks. You can't just send them to 50. Like there's only 5 or 10 companies they want to go to. These are people that are making 500 to $1 million a year. I can't just blast them out. You know, that's the problem with some of the candidates I talk to. And everyone's like, "Oh, you can do email." I'm like, "No, you can't. This guy's not gonna go take a job over here." But maybe you can.
Hey, I wanted to share. I had a crazy morning. So I'm always talking about you have to be consistent on LinkedIn. And I mean, look, I've got like almost 22,000 connections on LinkedIn, but we talk about this so often. I don't get too much engagement on my posts, but it doesn't deter me from posting and just putting out there. So, you know, sometimes you just got to like hit the post lottery and put something out there that people cling to. And sure enough, I hit it yesterday just talking about a situation that I had with a candidate.
Saw that.
Yeah.
Saw that.
Dude, got in front of my computer this morning. I was like, holy crap, I had 150 connections this morning, people wanting to connect with me. I've got like 87 messages to respond to just on that one post. I got 3 calls this morning from people I haven't talked to in like 10, 15 years. So just by continuing to press it, like whatever happens, whatever message that you put out there, eventually something's going to stick. So that's the first time that happened to me. Like,
Kelly, I don't think so. Some of these people don't know you. I'll put your LinkedIn profile in here.
Yeah.
Just so you can see what she's talking about. The one post she had, and she hit pretty big on it. That
yeah,
was the
keep at it, and then once you get one that resonates with people, like they will, you know, just kind of go all in. So I'm like inundated today.
That's awesome, and yeah, good job tagging them back. A lot of people don't do that. They don't. You don't when you hit reply, you don't put their name in there. You did it. So like Tom Arnell, you responded at Tom Arnell. Good job.
Yeah, just keep at it. Just keep up the good fight.
What else? Who's struggling on something right now? Brennan, what's going on with you guys? I know you and your wife are getting at it.
Was that me?
Yeah.
Did you see me? Nothing. Just same old. Just getting back in the swing of things after 8 days off.
That's tough.
Yes, it is. It is. No, my latest thing is I'm reaching out to all the executives in my first level on LinkedIn because I've not touched those people forever. And it's like, so just yesterday, I was just like, reaching out to them, checking in. The problem that I'm asking them about is with hiring is, I'm hearing that it's tough to tell the difference between candidates because everybody's using AI and their resumes look the same. And then just to see if they have a pain point around that and see if I can help them. Which I haven't gotten any job orders yet, but I've had a half dozen folks reply back and have like conversations. So it's getting me out there, but nothing. It's not doing 2 new clients with 1,000 emails. That's it's not that success.
Yeah, that's it's pretty good. How about you, Ernie? Are you there? Joe, you there?
Hey guys, I'm new here.
Go ahead,
Oh,
Joe.
oh no, I was just going to say I appreciate all the insight. I have 2 pages of notes here. For somebody who may not be using tech in their day-to-day right now, where did somebody start? I don't.
What do you try?
They are using chat.
So like I'll use ChatGPT and stuff, and so just a little bit about me. I come from big agency recruiting, and I recently became a partner at a regional firm in New England here. And when I say partner, I'm pretty much running the business now. The owner's toward the end of his tenure here, so I mean, our ATS is antiquated. There's no technology, that kind of thing, and I'm trying to get just something outside of ChatGPT to help streamline like just business development in a sense. And all these things are good, and that RecStack sounds like it could be the best thing that encompasses everything. But is there any tips to launch with something that's a little easier to get started with?
Are you using that LinkedIn automation at all? You could try Dripify first.
Yeah, that's what somebody recommended this week.
That or they have that cloud.
Jobin.cloud.
Jobin cloud. Yeah, that's Jobin. Yeah, that's
Okay.
the thing you set up for free. Check it out for free. So
that's cool.
Do you have LinkedIn?
Tim, what's that called? Java?
It's Jobin.cloud.
I have Light. I have to get the RPS.
You can look at this one too, Talon.ai.
Oh, sweet. Thank you.
And then you can like, I don't know if you're using like a like a sales engagement tool, like a Source Whale, or like, there's a bunch of tools like that kind of sit alongside your ATS, integrate with your ATS, but sit alongside your BD efforts in like, Sales Navigator or Recruiter. And it allows you to just quickly add people to your ATS or your CRM, and then also send out, add them to a sequence that you have kind of pre-built so that you can get them into like a little bit of a flow.
So I've been using Zoom Info, but the cost is just crazy. I mean, are you guys having good success with like the Apollos?
Yeah. How much are you? How long are you locked into Zoom Info for?
Well, at least till the end of the year. I mean, luckily
once they're done, go to the Facebook group Headhunters and ask somebody for a seat.
Yep.
And you can buy a seat for $1,300.
Really?
Instead of getting locked in for a long-term contract.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, but I use Apollo.
What's your budget?
So,
what's me?
Yeah. What is your budget?
I mean, the advantage I have is my owner is pretty much, if it makes us money, go do it. But at the same time, we're in a position where like our ATS is so old, there's not a lot of integration. So we're doing a lot of work outside of the system. And I don't want to say we're having issues getting clients, but every day it gets substantially harder. And talking to you guys, I'm like, we need to go rethink everything we're doing right now. So, but we're kind of open if it generates a return,
Maybe the first step is looking at your ATS and figuring out, and then growing it from there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a good for needs analysis, like Ernie was mentioning earlier. This year was just a needs analysis. Like, what do you need, functionality, and then your wants. from that standpoint. I mean, there's a lot of ATS systems out there that can do a lot. TE, they started stepping up on top echelon with a whole bunch of capabilities. That's open to a network of recruiters, so you can actually, that's probably the best network of recruiters that you could share job orders with on the planet right now that I see. I don't know, Dom, you've used top echelon, right?
Yeah, and there's really good partners on there. Like Mariah Heminger is one of the best. She knows how to run a job order probably better than most people I know.
Yeah. And that's where you build relationships. You can call these, if there's a job that you have a possible candidate for, you can call the recruiter up and they're going to be straightforward with you. And you'll know right away whether you want to work with them or not. I've talked to a couple of them. I'm like, yeah, okay, have a good one. I'm not sending anybody your way. But I've had others where I'm like, now I have them in my, I put alerts when they post a job. I'll see if I have any candidates that match it because I'll throw it their way.
Tim, did you leave Loxo and go back there?
No, we're Ernie and I. We're on TE. We're testing that out, for the network purposes, and then we have I got Loxo too as well. And I'm messing around with the Jobin. They're actually doing a integration with Loxo, so now you could do your first connection sequences. So you could send a sequence out to bulk sequence, first connection messages, and that the data once they accept it will go right into Loxo. So it's gonna be curious how they integrate, but that's supposed to be happening in the next couple months.
Yeah, so, now you're back to me. I have multiple ATS systems. Like, whoa.
You got 3.
Yeah, right now I got 3, and I'm not going any 4. But as far as the AI's throwing me off because Tom wants me to go to that typing mind. He really believes in that typing mind from an AI standpoint.
I mean,
more of a credit-based system.
You want to see it? It's not. I mean, it depends what you're trying to do.
But I told him, like, I doubled down with ChatGPT because it's it's my accountability partner. It's doing a whole bunch of other things. Pretty soon I'm gonna give my home activities, like what do I need to do every month? Mow the grass, weed.
Joe, one of the things that you want to look at is if you were to decide to change from your ATS, right? One of the biggest things I ask is how old is it? How many people on their staff? Like if they got 3 people in the basement, forget it. I'm not going to that ATS. But the other thing, and even probably more important to me, is a lot of us use Loxo. And whether it's Loxo, Crelate, or any of the other ones, the question becomes, are there other people other recruiters that that you can use are using the same system, ATS? Because if you have that, we're teaching each other how to do things. And that's a big part of it, where you do look at that and you learn more because their customer service on all of them are okay. They're good.
Yeah.
But this is really the customer service here. When you get on and talk to Dom or whatever, and they'll tell you, hey, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And there's no money involved. But the biggest thing to me is to figure out what's your ATS, how are you going to source, how are you going to get phone numbers, and then how are you going to do how do you get out to the people? How do you call them? And you got to have that sort of system. But at the same time, what you got to worry about is how many contact finders am I paying for? How many this and that? I did what Tim was talking about. I did this evaluation on what I was paying for, and I kind of cleaned house. And then I asked myself, what do I need and what do I not need? But to me, it's Sales Navigator, Jobin, SalesQL, and Loxo. And then I also use TE Recruit. But I try to keep it under $10,000 because, but hell, if you got a sugar daddy, you might as well use it. I know how you guys are thinking it, man.
It's not that easy, but he just wants to make money. I mean, that's what we're here for. So, but I want to also utilize that time to set ourselves up so that when he's gone,
I would tell you, look at it this way. You set it up like any job. What you're in, he could leave. He could decide, I ain't playing this game anymore, and then you're stuck with all that other shit. So you got to do is just know what you're spending. So when he asks you how much are you spending, you don't say I don't know, and then what you're
Yeah.
spending and why you're spending it. And if you got that, you're cool. And if you're making, he don't give a shit anyway.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if Greg can come on next week.
Yeah.
You want to see the most dialed in process? Me and him got on a call. I've never seen anything like it. He has
That's what I
basically
need, Dom.
dummy proofed his agency, and it is unbelievable.
Well, that's the other thing. That's the other thing I would tell you. People like Dom, don't try to copy him because shit, you go crazy. You know?
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah,
it's like
you know,
he's running a 4-minute mile and I'm going 10 minutes. You know.
well, you know,
and
and
what Greg's doing.
yeah. And I think the big thing too is, you know, what I learned this whole year going into 25 is really looking at going back to keeping it simple. I was chasing the shinies, and Dom knows that because I was all over the place of like last fall was like, what's the new tool out there? What can it do? Is it going to make me money? You know, always trying to elevate it. But at the end of the day, I'm just dialed into, like I said, Jobin for my ATS outreach, you know, from that LinkedIn outreach that's going into my Loxo environment, you know, and just really looking at your software stack and going like ChatGPT. I got so many damn prompts that are in there now. It's planning my day. You know, I'm going way deep into that stuff, and I love it because I could really say that I have 4 or 5 that I'm actually going 15 feet deep in instead of 20 that I'm going 3 to 4 feet deep in, you know, and that's where I think we all get to look at for right now, what's really gonna, you know, and hire someone to test this stuff out for you. You know what I'm saying? If you want, you get so big, you know, Dom, you got your connections overseas. Like, hey, I need, you know, I got a list of contacts. I want you to drive this. I want you to, you know, give me meetings and stuff like that, but outsource some of that stuff that's chasing those shiny objects because it takes a lot of mind share away from it, you know, and then you could do your cryptocurrency on the side and have some fun, right, Dom?
Yes, sir.
You know, one other thing I'll mention too that hasn't been mentioned is the use of either MetaView or Quill. And if you're using Quill, that Tim's the guy to talk to. He'll tell you how to make that thing dance. And then if you're using MetaView, there's a free version of it that you can play around with it. And those are note takers.
Well,
I don't know if you know what they are, but they're note takers from your conversation, and they can summarize. And some of these guys have learned to use it by forwarding it on to their clients, but only their clients that are not contingent. You can do a lot of things with it. So, you know, make yourself separate yourself from the crowd. But that's another thing.
And that's it too, because people are like saying, well, why are you paying for a, you know, pretty much a voice to text software program when you can go to, like, I was using ChatScribe Pro that you could get off of AppSumo for $47 a lifetime. But I was manually taking that video audio file out of Loxo that was recorded, dropping it in there, and then I had to wait 15, 20 minutes. It created a summary. Yeah, it was good. Then I copied, pasted it back into Loxo, right? Well, the reason why I'm paying, you know, for Quill is I could create my own AI prompts, which they actually utilize, like ChatGPT. So you can create your own prompts of what information you want in your database when it gets pushed over, and it's automated. So saving me time is saving me money. So I don't want to have to do this manual stuff all over the place when you're doing these recordings or all that kind of stuff. So that's one reason why I went down the rabbit hole with Quill. I don't get anything from it. I have a phone call with Dom, and next thing you know, that phone call summarized and in his intake within Loxo within minutes. And I didn't do anything. So it's kind of cool. And I could cut it. I could cookie cut it and delete if I want to, if there's something in there I want to take out. But it's kind of nice to be able to automatically do that.
So that's
and they're getting into TE Recruit. They're everywhere. But anyways.
That's why when you look at your ATS, you got to ask yourself, how open is it to developing for the future? Because if you get PC Recruiter or something like that that doesn't want to grow, and I'm not saying I don't know, but that's an old timer one. You may decide, you know what, I don't want to do that because it's not growing. That's why I chose Loxo, because they're willing to take a chance, and that's why I'm looking at Jobin, because Jobin will it'll do everything. It's not the greatest ATS yet, but it's there in terms of sourcing and connecting it with Sales Navigator. You know, it's got some good stuff there.
You know, Yeah, like Ernie said too, a lot of these companies that when they first start out and been around for a couple of years only, this is almost the best part to get on board with them, because I remember Tom was saying that when he jumped on board with Loxo, he's like number 341, and they treated him like gold for like 10 years. Matter of fact, they still treat him like gold. If they change something, he says, I want it back, they'll change it overnight. Ernie's in the same boat from that standpoint too.
How many people do you have on your team, Joe?
We have a lot of people from like a holistic view, but from a sales perspective, only 3.
Okay, but just remember, as you add people to your team, we tend to think we're one person. If I pay $2,000 a month and I have 5 people on my team, I'm a $10,000 account.
Right.
And sometimes, like in Loxo, they'll assign you someone to be your customer service special connection or whatever you want to call it. But if you're one person, they don't give you that sort of thing. And so just always remember, you come with posse. So make sure they understand that you're not a standalone guy, and use that as your leverage, and ask for things that if someone tells you, like you talk to Tim or you talk to Dom or whatever, and they say, I have Loxo and I have this, and you go, I don't have that. Shit, asking for it, and they'll give it to you sometimes if you're lucky.
Yeah. Joe, what big firm did you come from?
So I was with Adecco for a handful of years, and I was at Roth Staffing, and now I'm here.
So yeah, you don't share outside of that group, right? Like that's how those big firms are. Now you come in here, it's just.
Yeah, I mean, I've never done it, and this is a great group. I mean, co-source agreements, sharing candidates and all that stuff. Now has just opened it up. I've had so much more success in the last 6 months than I did probably in the last year at my last company, just because of the freedom.
Yeah, Adecco was in my office building, and they came, like, Quill would come into my office and be like, "What the hell is all this? We don't have any of this." I go, "Yeah, because you're stuck down there, and they don't want you to have any of this shit."
They don't. They don't.
They don't. Yeah, they don't.
They want the market share for their shareholders. We want to make money, so that's the difference.
Yeah. How about you, Andy?
Oh man, I just launched 3 searches for food and beverage company, supply chain roles, and inundated with resumes this morning when I posted it. So yeah, things are a little bit nuts. I put in the chat for Joe, if you're not using Dripify yet, there's on AppSumo, I don't know if you guys are using Prost, but it's like $90 for 1 seat, and it's very similar to Dripify. I've been kind of tooling around with it, but you can add voice notes, which is really nice. So recommend anyone. I put the link in the chat. Earlier, Dom, people were talking a lot about email. Email does not work for me. I don't know. Oh, thank you, Brent. Appreciate that. I don't know if it's because I'm just purely in the executive space, but emails just don't work. Like, I have not had a campaign hit yet.
Yeah, no, we're in the same boat on those higher level roles. When I was hitting them, they're on lower roles, and it just depends on the space, the timing. But yeah, I haven't had good luck with it either for a while. It's been like 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah, I kind of just removed it from my like campaign model, and I'm just like solely just doing LinkedIn.
Are you utilizing like emails, like campaigns, or sending the emails out and following up with a call, or is that what's your process like that? Because I know a lot of times I was telling Ernie, my process is technically I send them out a sequence, and then I'm calling them. As soon as that sequence goes out, maybe an hour later, I'm making phone calls.
Yeah, so I typically I send an email, and then I wait a day, and then I use voice drop. So I pre-record just a follow-up, like friendly voicemail that goes right into their voicemail. And that's gotten me a few calls back, but just with people being like, we're not interested. Yeah, I found LinkedIn and then paving the pounding the pavement and going to networking events, different functions. That's really what's been getting the most traction for me.
Yeah.
You gotta kind of look at it like what kind of people they are. And what I mean is everybody that you talk to, they're either a texter, they're a caller, they're an emailer, they're a LinkedIner, and you got to kind of figure them out. It's not about you and what's going out, because some of these people, I mean, it's like you look at your kids, and my kids, they want to text and I want them to call, and they text me. I don't see it half the time, but I tell them, shit, just call me. And they go, well, Dad, I'm going to just text you. I said, well, you pay the bill and your dad, I'll call you. But that's really the trick to it. And then the biggest thing is just picking up the damn phone and calling and bugging the shit out of them. And that's really I think is the key to a lot of it too. And also I mentioned, I read here where you were on the, is it Ben Mena's podcast?
Yeah. My episode just came out today.
Okay. Oh, I got to check it out. Were you on drugs or were you on, I call Ben because there were 3 people in a row that were either they were drug addicts and then became alcoholics, and then
No, you know what's funny, Ernie? I went back and listened to it because I listened to his like on the week, when I'm driving, and I did realize that. I'm like, do I need to have like a sorry here before I go on? Like,
abandoned my family. I killed 3 people. I came out of prison.
I'm actually on the run.
And I owe a hell of a lot of child support. No,
Collectors come call me.
I actually talked to Ben about that. I go, what the hell are you doing now? Where's the program going? To the drug addicts? And he goes, no, it just was a trend. But the thing I'll tell you is this: if you're ever on that, now that you're on that program, right? If you can get them to interview you, I call up the people I like, the ones I hear the interviews from. And even if you're not on the program, you call them up, and they will share with you more than they've ever shared. I've gotten so much stuff from people that are on that, and just call yourself the alumni. But and if any of you want to get on Ben Anna and his podcast, you can use it on LinkedIn. But at the same time, you don't have to be a pro. You don't have to be anything. Just he's always looking for guests, and and if you're willing to do it, and I can tell you, I did it, and I was scared shitless when I did it. It's like, what the hell do I know? And you just do it. The stories just come out. And I think, I don't know, was that your experience, Andy?
Yeah, no, I mean, we were actually going to go in with like a very different model because Ben was like, tell me about, because I like kind of came out of the gate from being, running an agency to starting my own and had some really good success. And then he wanted to really share those numbers, and I just didn't feel comfortable pulling them out publicly. So literally at the last minute, I was like, Ben, I want to pull the plug on this. I don't want to do it. And he's like, well, let's just morph it into talking about creating your own agency from scratch, right? And having like an NDA, a non-compete that's pretty like tight. And so that's kind of where we went. So he worked with the content, and we had I don't want to say a script, but he gives you like the outline of like, here's what I'm gonna cover. And I don't think we covered any of it, because after the show, he's like, dude, I need to have you back on to go over all the stuff that we pre-planned to kind of walk through and talk through. And my career coach has told me, like, you need to do more podcast content, but you need to focus it on the niche of which you support. So for us, like, that's a big thing for our team right now, is we're trying to jump on to get onto different podcasts that just talk industry specific. And then I just got asked here in Denver to go and do like a public, like a TED talk for Naturally Colorado. So I got to create like something about just like young companies and like how they should focus on talent acquisition. And aside from it being like just hire me to do it, it's giving them the wherewithal. So that was like a big thing. My coach was telling me, was like, go out there and try and like in your niche, become that subject matter expert where people just start thinking of you immediately. So we're reaching out to a ton of podcasts and different like networking events to see if we can get some time speaking.
If I may, throw in, as you give that TED talk, I think one of the things that we always talk about is the process and how we do it and what tools we use. But before you even begin that, it's a mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And if you talk about the mindset first and how you position yourself, you know, like you're like an athlete. And what's your attitude going into the race? And then the race begins. And you talk to that a little bit, read up on a few ideas of mindset and what's happening there. But it's pretty simple. It's in what kind of mindset you are. You're either a believer or you're a fixed mindset. You're willing to change. And I use that because most recruiters right now, I mean, how many recruiters do we know? But look how many people we got on the show. We got 16 people. And that should be, it should be 76 people. It should be 106, 500. Because you're learning for free. Most of the trainers are not there. But that's because most people do not want to learn. They want to be told how to learn. And the way you did it was you ended up teaching people, teaching yourself, and constantly knowing. That's what everybody that's here is like. Every day I'm going to learn a little something from somebody. And it may be just, 1 hour of hearing of us talk, but there's that one idea. And we're writing it down and say, I'm going to try that. But I can tell you, when these people tell you, these $1 million billers that are on Ben's video, shit, I called them up and I said, hey, you talked about this email. Can you send me a copy of that email? And they go, sure, I'll do it. And then they even wrote up these stories on how to conduct the email. They give me like this whole program on how to do it. And I go, okay, thank you. But
charging you?
They didn't charge me. No. We're $1 million billers, but they're like, you got to kind of come at it like now we're on the same team, we both went to the same high school type of thing, now we're both on the Ben Mena alumni, and then boom, and they will talk to you.
Yeah, Ben does a good job with the podcast. That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And I just want to let you guys know, since Ernie, he'll give you all that stuff for nothing. So I just want to let you know, you just let him do all the hard work, make the phone calls, and just say, hey, Ernie, what do you got on me Monday? What do you got? What kind of email drips you got for me? Some sequences.
And Tim and I work together. That's why it gives me a bad time. It is a learning process. I've been doing this shit a long time, 27 years, 30 years, I don't know, since 98. But every day you got to learn. And if you stop learning, you end up saying, I'm bored. I don't know what to do. Please help me.
Seriously, every day. Especially with what's coming out.
Don't try to keep up, with Dom. I listen to him and I go, wow, shit. I'm here and he's way over there.
Yeah, but then you look at other people and they're fucking way over here. I go on YouTube and I'm just like, what the hell? How do you guys know all this stuff? Not even recruiting, just
I think that's what I love about what we do. It gives us flexibility to be creative, think outside the box, and it's crazy what people come up with. I remember, I think Dom, was it on the roundtable here, or was it on Tom, the guy that did he was doing a retained search, and he had like breakdowns, like 1 to 5 placements.
Oh yeah,
It was like stages, like 3 or 4 different stages for retained search, and I was like sitting there going, this guy must love baseball stats, because I was like sitting there going, oh my gosh, but it worked for him, and he was crushing it, getting the retained.
Crushing it.
I mean, it was just like making $100,000, but like I'm gonna do the 5 to 10 placements, and he's still getting fees off of it. It was just really cool situation to hear. I don't know when that was on yours, or was that on?
Yeah, that was a few months ago, I think.
Yeah, I'll have to take a look, see where that's at. But that'd be worth going back and subscribe to Dom's roundtable here and just look at some of the history.
On the Friday roundtable, Tom did a really good job of telling you how to take a job order. And if you haven't seen that, you should look at it on YouTube. And
here's the link for that tomorrow.
Yeah. He also is going to talk about how to do a candidate phone screen this week or tomorrow.
That's tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow.
I gotta tell ChatGPT to fit these meetings in on a week-to-week basis here, so that when I plan my day tomorrow.
Yep. And I gotta jump off. I gotta jump to another call.
That's cool.
I'll see you guys. Have a great weekend. I'll see you
Thanks,
tomorrow.
everyone. See you guys later.
Right
Have a good one. Good luck, Joe.
I put the link in the chat just so you guys have it for tomorrow. 12:30 Eastern. 12:30. I'll see you guys.
You take care of yourself, man.
You too, buddy.
All right.